this case really isn't that complicated. Every single witness in the case that's been an expert has said it comes down to which side do you believe? Do you believe Dr. Smith? Do you believe the doctors who testified? Do you believe the nurses? Do you believe the medical records? Do you really think, we're not talking about an O-ring and a NASA missile here. We're talking about whether somebody wrote down whether somebody could walk or not. That's not the type of mistake you can make. It's not writing down the wrong number. It's yes or no. And it's also not a situation where we have one nurse that made a mistake. We had three different nurses involved in the procedure. We had Dr. Smith. We then have Dr. Mohan. We then have Dr. Davis. Not Dr. Davis, Dr. James, who did the surgery. All of them say the same thing. Do you really think that this is some circling of the wagons? The nurses are not employees of Gwinnett Anesthesia Services, and they're not employees of Dr. Smith. So if the plaintiffs really thought that the nurses had done something wrong, if they had violated the discharge criteria, which every single person said, we don't let them walk, we don't let them go unless they've shown us they can walk. It's not a question of whether they go out in a wheelchair when they leave. It's a question, can they walk? And if they can walk, you might put them in a wheelchair. They can't walk. So we're really distinguishing here between pain that somebody may be having, which keeps them from wanting to walk, because it hurts. I've had back problem, probably a lot of you have. You don't like to walk when you've got back pain. That's not the same as a new neurological finding. Mr. Freeman made this thing up about his rule. Well, basically the idea is correct. If the plaintiff did have new neurological findings, if she can't walk, if she's in a different status than she was before, then something should have been done about it. And that's never been disputed by anybody, but it's just not what happened here. You're going to have to decide which side you believe in this case. You can use your common sense. You can use your own experiences. You saw the people on the witness stand. You also saw who brought you the evidence in this case. You can put two and two together and figure out what really happened here. Dr. Smith, Mr. Freeman proudly says, thank you for your service, and all this about Dr. Smith's, what she did in the Navy, which I think was very admirable. It doesn't make her tell us one way or the other about this case, but I think it tells us what type of person she was. The next thing out of his mouth is she's lying to you about seeing her to walk, and somehow we spend a day figuring out where time clocks are and what the angle of the vision is in the center. I mean, really, if it doesn't really matter in this room. If you see somebody walk across it, you saw them walk across it. Whether it doesn't matter where you were sitting. The nurses aren't on trial in this case. They're impartial. They know Dr. Smith and they like her, and I think you can take that into account too. That it's a good team and they were good people.